You're listening to Amazing Radio. This is Amazing Afternoons. I'm delighted to say that I'm joined on the line now by Viji. How are you doing, Viji?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you today? What are you doing today? What's a regular day like in the VG world?
I mean, like now today is like irregular, I guess. The EP's coming out on Friday, and I'm also playing my first ever show on Friday. So I've just been in rehearsals like yesterday, today, and tomorrow with my band, and yeah, it's really cool. So I'm just about to head off to the rehearsal studio after this.
That's so exciting. We're going to come on to that because I know about the gig on Friday and the EP coming out. But
Mm-hmm.
I think the listeners want to know a little bit about you because we've played your previous few singles, Cherry Unfair, Suck It, and Mercy as well, recently as well. But I
Amazing.
just want to know about you as an artist. I want to know how long you've been making music for and what inspired you to start making music.
I think, like I come from a really musical household. Growing up, my dad's an instrument builder, so there's always like loads of like instruments around. It's like, string instruments, like pretty weird ones as well, kind of like Renaissance-y ones. And also like my older cousin was in a band, like like alternative rock band. So like, growing up, I think I kind of like idolized that. I thought it was so cool. So like the plan, like it like kind of planted pretty early on in my life, that this is something like I would want to do. And more recently with this project, I've just like started writing, and like it was really like condensed to like one sound, and I was like, okay, cool, I think this is what it's gonna be.
Now that's amazing. Like, tell me more about your dad and the instruments he makes, and what kind of music does your dad like to listen to?
I mean, like it's pretty split. Like my dad, it's like either kind of like like classic rock, like a lot of like kind of like British like rock as well, or or like folk music quite a lot actually, because of the nature of the instruments that he builds. Like there's a lot of kind of like weird folk instruments in there. So like there used to be a festival in France we went to every summer as kids, which was just very folky, but really fun when
You
you're that age.
your music's not necessarily folk music, but do you yourself see the merits in it and understand it as a genre?
Yeah, I mean, like I grew up with it, so like my dad used to make me and my brother sing, all the harmonies and stuff, and I think maybe that's what kind of stuck with it most. It's just the different like interpretations of like the vocals and like the way they like go together. I think it's really pretty. It's nothing I would listen to, ever
Yeah, yeah.
by myself, but I
This
was around it.
Yeah, and the storytelling is so good in folk music. That's what that's all about, isn't it? You mentioned as well,
Yeah,
you have roots as well in some alternative rock, maybe as well. I can see Dinosaur Jr. poster behind you as well. You can definitely
yeah.
hear that you have like a kind of a rock DNA in your music as well. Which
Yeah.
bands in particular do you put on and just blast around the house?
I mean like all sorts, like obviously like yeah, Dinosaur Jr. is really great. I've been listening to like a lot of Pavement, like that kind of like scene. I used to listen to like a lot of like US garage, kind of more like, bands like Fiddler, like a bit kind of like surfy, like gothy, like bands like that. And yeah, I mean like all sorts. Like I've been listening more recently. I've just been getting back into Elliott Smith a lot, which he's always been around, I think, like in the background like of my music library,
No,
just
that's so
lurking.
cool. What about in terms of pop music? Is anyone because for a certain amount of time, pop was it wasn't a dirty word, but like in the last like 10 years, some of the best music around, is considered pop or alt pop, isn't it? I mean, there's
Yeah,
some really obvious
totally.
examples out there, but there's some brilliant production work going on at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like more like pop artists. I think like pop can be like anything that kind of like people like, and like for me, it's like, I mean, what I consider pop, which is probably a bit more like avant-garde. Like I listen to a lot of Frank Ocean. So like Blonde, like it's a pop record, but it's so weird, and the like production is so cool on it. I also listen to a lot of like Dominic Fike, which that's pretty pop, but also again like he released an album, and like the first time I listened to it I was kind of disappointed because I was like, what, it's not just singles. But then like I've listened to it a million times now, and it's like I appreciate it so much more for it not just being like 3-minute songs. And like his vocal production is really cool. Like and kind of, I guess, like kind of similar to like what Frank Ocean did. I'm sure like everyone wants to copy. So
Yeah. Do you have those kind of aspirations in terms of like a full length record to make it as interesting as, you know, from a production point of view, as well as, you know, having a few singles in there as well?
yeah, definitely. I think there's definitely like a good balance. I want there to be for sure like a few songs that are on the record because they work on the record. And I think that's the albums I always appreciated most. It's like when you listen to it and you know, like you listen to it so many times and you like appreciate those weird like 2-minute songs that kind of don't make as much sense by themselves, but they really work. It's like a piece of art. So I mean, it can't all be that, obviously. Like I want to get as many like good songs out as possible, but I definitely want to like have like a rounded project.
Yeah, that sounds so cool. You know, as an artist yourself, VG, what do you get out of creating music? What's the feelings and the emotions that, you know, what makes you feel like, you know, you're getting somewhere, and what does it do to you?
I mean, like just writing a song and like kind of being in the zone, like that always feels really good. So like when you sit down, you know, and you write something that you dig, like that's a, I don't know, it's a really good feeling. Like I guess like in a way you kind of like process whatever it is you're writing about. Like even if it's not personal, like I kind of get a lot of inspirations like from, you know, other people's stories or like movies or books, but it's like still you're kind of processing like something, like a story, and kind of learn from it. And I mean, like one of the greatest moments, I think, like which, you know, is a little bit different being a solo artist, but like sharing that moment like of excitement with other people. So like the last kind of EPs, like you know, my producer's been like really close, like with the process of like finishing the songs, and you know, just being in the studio and being like, oh my god, like this is like, you know, like just having that one like moment of like euphoria is definitely one of the best.
And talking of feelings like that, you're going to share it for the first time at your first gig this week as well. How excited are you for that? And are you prepared?
Super excited and hopefully prepared. I mean, we've left the rehearsals to kind of lead up to the show, so I'm pretty sure, you know, after tomorrow, we're gonna be pretty rehearsed. It's yeah, it's I mean, it's so cool. Like I've waited so long to play live. And you know, it's a small venue, but it's like kind of underground and it's sold out, so I'm sure it's gonna be a vibe. Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm nervous a little bit because I haven't played live for such a long time,
Yeah.
but more excited.
Tell us about the live setup then for VG now 2022. What's the stage setup going to be? Who have you got on stage with you?
So it's a band like of session players. We got a lead guitarist, a bassist, and a drummer. And then I play guitar, like rhythm guitar, and then for some songs I just sing. Because I think it's like more fun to do that as well.
Oh
To
yeah,
kind of like
don't bored, don't, you know,
go
don't
out,
get
yeah.
bored with all the instruments and stuff like that. You know, you want a bit of
Yeah,
freedom
don't
on stage, make some moves, that kind of thing. You
exactly.
know.
Exactly. I don't want to be glued to one spot the entire time.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's pretty exciting for you. This is happening all on Friday. Got the new EP out as well. Do you think the EP is a good example of where you are right now as an artist?
yeah, I mean, like it's always, I think, a little bit of a lag of like, you know, when you like write and record music and then when you release it. So like I've been writing a lot. So like, you know, the music I make now, it's I mean, it's all super similar to like everything I've kind of put out. But this music is like it's still like a pretty accurate like representation. I'm very glad to like get these songs out, like, and you know, have them like be alive and stuff, but you know, you're constantly progressing. So um I don't know, I feel like it's like a time capsule always.
That's a nice way to look at it. Talking of that as well, looking forward, it sounds like you've already started on other stuff than behind the scenes. Are we likely to hear more music from you in 2022? And of course, you've got a couple of more live dates penciled in, a couple of festivals. You must be excited for that as well.
Yeah, very yeah, I think like the plan is to kind of progressively just like keep releasing music. I really want to do a few collaboration songs, so kind of like working on like, what kind of artists I want on it. So I think after this EP, like it's not gonna be a very long way, like until the next thing like comes out. It might not be like a project, but I want to keep the momentum going, especially playing live. Like I want to keep adding like new songs and stuff. So yeah, it won't be too long of a wait, but
Exciting. Cool. And you mentioned a couple of collabs there. You with working with Dirty Hit as well, who are known for keeping things in house a little bit as well. Is there anyone on the dream kind of roster there, Dirty Hit, you would love to work with?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like an artist like whose music I like probably the most at the moment on the roster, it's Pretty Sick. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I've heard them. I haven't heard much music though.
Yeah, like I think they're really great. And they're really nice. Definitely, go in the studio with them. But yeah, it's nothing concrete yet.
That's cool. Of course, when going in the studio as well, you've got to be able to vibe together, haven't you? You've got to get on, or else, it's pretty pointless, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And they're kind of like rocky and like, yeah, really cool. I really like the music they make.
Cool. This is all good. I'm very excited for Viji in 2022. Thanks so much for taking the time to speak to us here on Amazing Radio, and good luck with the show and the new EP.
Amazing. Thanks so much.